How's it going, everybody? Brian Porter here from Keller Williams Realty in the Bay Area, and I wanted to make a quick video for you out there if you're looking to purchase a home in this current market. Maybe you've been looking for a while, maybe you're just getting started, maybe it hasn't been going well at all. You know, if you've been looking for any amount of time, you know how competitive things are. You know that you're typically against very, very strong offers, a lot of times non-contingent offers, and in those bidding war situations that are really not very fun. And so I'm not going to go into great detail as far as the ins and outs of all of the things that I do to make sure that my buyers are really set apart from the pack. But there are a couple of things that I've been doing lately that have been very helpful. And so I wanted to bring that up. Even if you're working with another agent, totally fine. Might be something to bring up and see if that's something that they can work with as well. And so one of those things is just making sure you're working with a really strong lender. When you go to a bank and you get your pre-approval, that's great. They're going to say, okay, we looked at your income and we've looked at your assets and your credit score. Based on that, we can give you about this much money. Very, very, very likely. However, when you're writing an offer, it's a little bit scary to release a loan contingency, meaning that your deposit that you put down, and in this county that's typically about 3% of the purchase price, means that that's at risk in the case that you don't get the loan. So very, very likely to get the loan for me is not really that safe of a bet when you're talking about $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in a lot of cases. And so one thing that you can consider is working with a lender that's going to be able to give you a very, very good indication that you're going to get the loan, but also possibly even do a fully underwritten approval. Meaning it wasn't just the lender themselves looking at your income, your assets, and your credit and things like that, but it's also already gone to the underwriter. And that's something that typically happens after you get into contract. And so what that underwriter will do is they'll look through with a much finer toothed comb, and then they're going to be the ones that are going to be the ultimate say as far as, is this loan going to happen or not? And they'll put that through with a blank property address, basically saying for a property, single family up to 1.5 million or whatever it may be, these are the conditions. You've been basically or very close to fully approved for that loan. And what that can do is now you can compete with some of these high down payments, people that are really not scared of a loan contingency, even though they probably should have one, all cash, things like that. And so it really does help you to position yourself. It's a little trick that I like to use. Something else I like to play with is the appraisal contingency. So the appraisal contingency is basically there to protect your deposit again, like all contingencies. And what that's for is to say, let's say you write an offer for a property for $1 million. The appraiser is going to be the one that's going to tell the bank that it's actually worth $1 million. And so they'll say, okay, well, based on that and your 20% down payment, we will give you 80% of $1 million. Now, if that same property appraises for $980,000, now there's a $20,000 deficit. There's that delta there that the bank is not going to give you a loan for that. They're going to give you now a loan for 80% of the $980,000, and that $20,000 is going to have to come out of pocket. And if you don't have it, there's going to be an issue there, and your deposit is now at risk. And so, the appraiser's opinion of the value sometimes may not match what the buyers are willing to pay. What's the value actually? What are the buyers willing to pay? You could have a house with 5 offers on it with everybody willing to pay $1 million. But if that appraiser says it's worth $980,000, there's going to be an issue. So one thing that you can consider, if there's a little bit of extra cash, is you can do a partial appraisal contingency removal. Now, if you have all the cash in the world, set aside, and you're not worried about the appraisal, it could come in $100,000 less or even more, and we'll cover the difference. We don't care. Totally fine. You're going to be in a great position. But you can also not write a blank check and say, as long as it appraises for, let's say, $990,000, we will automatically remove that appraisal contingency, meaning that at that point, you've limited it to $10,000. So if it were to come in at $920,000, 900, whatever it may be, you're not just saying we will pay the difference no matter what or risk our deposit. You're saying we will pay the difference up to this amount. And so that's something that can also set you apart, especially if the offers are really close. Just a couple of tricks I use. There's a lot more that I like to do in order to position my buyers. So if you have any questions about what I do to make sure that my buyers are positioned the best, feel free to call anytime. My phone number is 408-813-6865. You can text me at that number as well, 7 days a week. And you can also email me at brian.porter@kw.com. So my first name, my last name @kw.com. Thanks so much. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.